Okay, in this playlist of videos, I'm going to talk to you about something which is called the product rule for counting. And really it's this last part we're thinking about. It's about the number of different ways that you can count things or the number of different combinations that there are. And you might think the best way to do this is to just try and list things out, but actually we're going to find that the numbers get so big, we're going to try and find some rules for this. So there are three kinds of questions for this topic, and we're going to see how they're all different to each other, because if we can work out which of these three kinds of questions that there are, it really becomes quite an easy topic, I think. So we're going to look at this scenario that we've got here, okay? This is the beginning scenario that Tom has got 4 shirts. He has a red shirt, a blue shirt, an orange shirt, and a green shirt. And he's also got 4 pairs of shorts, a red, blue, orange, and green pair of shorts. Now these are the three kinds of scenarios we have to work out between. It says that he selects 1 shirt and 1 pair of shorts. How many different outfits can he choose from in total? So the first way is just going to be about in total. The second way might be that if there's a restriction, that if both colours must be different. In other words, he doesn't want to wear a red shirt and a red pair of shorts, or a green shirt and a green pair of shorts, for whatever reason that is. The third one's a little bit more complicated, but it will make sense when we see it with some examples. So how many different outfits can he choose from if he is only interested in different colour combinations? In other words, he doesn't want to have doubles, he doesn't want to wear red, red or blue, blue, but he also considers an outfit red and green regardless of which item is which. So for example, if he was wearing a red shirt and green shorts, he would consider that the same outfit as a green shirt and red shorts, because he's like, oh, well, I'm wearing red and green, they're basically the same outfit. So we're going to try and think how these three scenarios differ and what's the maths that goes on behind them that we've got there. So we're going to do the first one, which is how many outfits there are that he could do in total. Now I've got the letters R, B, O and G to obviously represent red, blue, orange and green. And I've drawn out the number of different combinations that we could do here. And hopefully that you can see I've done the first number, or the first letter, is to represent what shirt that he's wearing. And you can see that this red shirt that we've got down here is all, this first column is all red shirts, and then blue shirts, orange shirts, green shirts. And then on the side, I've said that the red shorts, which are the second letter, I've got all of the second one are red, all of the second one are blue, all of the second one are orange, and all of the second one are green. So you can see from this particular method that we've got here that because he had 4 different shirts to choose from and 4 different kinds of shorts to choose from, he has come up with a total of 16 different combos in this grid. And when I'm talking about a combination, a pair of letters is being considered as like a single combination like this. So he's got 16 in total. So I think that 16 has come from doing the 4 multiplied by the 4. I'm just actually going to pull this to the center of the page so I can annotate this a second. So the 4 is representing the number of shirt choices. And then the second 4 is the number of short choices. So if he only had, say, 3 colours of shorts, he would have 4 times 3, and he'd have 12 different combinations. And if he had 5 kinds of shirts, but only 3 kinds of shorts, it would be 5 times 3. He would have 15 that he could do. And you could draw out this table to help you visualise what was going on here. And I've said, where would we use this method? Well, we would use this when we're choosing things maybe in like a menu with like a starter, a main, and a dessert, or where you're choosing 2 or more things with no restrictions. So you were just allowed to pick any colour of shirt, any colour of shorts. You took the number of this one and you multiplied it by the number of this one. So that's kind of your formula. You do the number of choices multiplied by the number of choices of the second thing. The second one, though, is a little bit different. It says, what about if both colours must be different? Well, I've got this exact same array of things that we've got here. An array is just like a table of things. I've copied this from here and I've pasted it down here. So from the previous one, it was all of these 16, but there are some here that we are not going to want to use because it says that both colours must be different, meaning I cannot include that one, I cannot include that one, I cannot include that one, and I cannot include that one. So it looks like I have 3, 6, 9, 12 different combinations. So the answer to this is 12. I guess I should have also said here that there are 16 different combinations. So we know that the answer to this is going to be 12. But I think we need to try and work out where that has come from. Well, this first part was the shirt, right? And it looks like he can still choose 4 kinds of shirts. But after he's chosen, say, a red shirt, he doesn't have 4 options for the shorts. He's now only got 3 options per original option that he had. So instead of it being 4 times 4, it's 4 times 3. And the reason that's because he has 4 ways, or the number of ways of choosing, a shirt. And actually 3 is still representing the same thing as before. It was the number of shorts choices. This is the number of ways of choosing a pair of shorts. Because he's not allowed to pick 2 of the same colour. So after he's picked, say, red, he only has 3 options. After he's picked blue, he only has 3 options. And after he's picked orange, he only has 3 options. And after he's picked green, he only has 3 options. So it's the same rule as the previous one, but we've decreased this as a 3 because we've restricted that he's not allowed to pick the same colour. So there are 12 different combinations for this. Well, where would we use this method? Selecting something twice or more where you can't repeat, and the order matters. So for example, it could be picking different kinds of pizzas. Each week you visit your favourite restaurant. Because of that keyword different, you can't repeat it. So each time you go, you would be reducing the number of options by 1, and that's what you would be multiplying by. And then our third one is if he is only interested in different colour combinations, i.e. he's not interested in wearing double colours and considers an outfit red and green regardless of which item is which. Okay, well, he's definitely not interested in the same ones as before, as this red, red, blue, blue, orange, orange, and green, green. And we remembered from before that he had 4 things to choose from for the shirts. That would then leave him with only 3 choices for the shorts, because one of those choices couldn't be used because it would do a duplicate colour. But let's try and analyse this last bit that it said. It also says he's not interested in wearing double colours. Oh, okay, we've done that. And he considers an outfit red and green regardless of which item is which. So he doesn't really care between, say, where have I got red and green? This red and green that we've got here, he considers that one the same as that one. So because I'm considering those the same as each other, I'm actually going to get rid of that second one that I've got there. Okay, let's look through the other list. So I've got red and blue. I should probably get rid of the blue and red. I've got red and orange, so I should get rid of the orange and red. The red and green I've already done. Okay, so we've got blue and orange. I should probably get rid of the orange and blue. I've got blue and green, so I should get rid of the green and blue. And I've also got orange and green, so I should get rid of the green and orange. Well, I'm hoping you can see what's happened here. Whatever I had, it always had a partner that I could cross out. The ones that I crossed out was this, 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 and this. They already had a partner that was somewhere else. So I got rid of these ones by doing 4 times 3, and then the remaining ones all had a partner that I could get rid of. So I am dividing by 2. I'm halving that I've got there. 4 times 3 divided by 2, 12 divided by 2, which is 6 combinations. So I'm not going to write these bits that I did before, but the 4 times 3, that's the number of ways you can choose the first thing, the number of ways you can choose the second thing, because you couldn't choose the first thing again, and dividing by 2. And that dividing by 2, what it does is it ignores repeats. So when might we do this method where you take the first one, you times it by the number of choices with 1 less, and then you half it? Well, this is when you can't select something more than once, so we weren't allowed to select the colours more than once, and the order doesn't matter. We didn't care if he was wearing a red shirt and orange shorts, or an orange shirt and red shorts. The order of that didn't matter. So this might be something like picking 2 students to represent the class, selecting teams so they all play each other only once, With the 2 students to represent the class, once you've picked the first student, you'd reduce the number by 1 because you can't pick them again. You couldn't pick the same student twice. And you would half it because it doesn't really matter if you pick one student and first and then the other one second. At the end of the day, you've still got those 2 students that have been picked. So there's a bit of a summary that we've got here. Before the summary actually, there's an alternate visual that might help you see what was going on here. So type 1, where there was no restrictions, this first section of the diagram, this is where he's starting off deciding what outfit he wants to do. This is his shirt choices. He could either do red, blue, orange or green. And then after he's picked red, he's got 4 choices for each of the original choices. So there were 4 choices, and for each sub part there were 4 choices. So that's how we ended up with that 4 times 4. With type 2, when you can't choose the same thing again, you'll notice that the red has gone, the blue has gone, the orange has gone, and the green has gone. So with the 4 original branches, the new branches, there's only 3 of them. So that's why there's only actually going to be 12 different combinations from this one. These are tree diagrams, so if you've looked at tree diagrams already, these should be quite familiar. If not, I just wanted to present them here as just a different way of visualizing rather than seeing things in a table. Type 3 you can't really represent that well in a tree diagram, so I just wanted to show you type 1 and type 2. Okay, so as a summary, if you have just wanting to find the total combinations of things, multiply the available choices together. And again, I'll do some examples with this in a second. If you are excluding choosing the same thing more than once, you multiply by 1 less each time. So that was when we didn't want him to wear the same colour twice. If we're going to exclude choosing the same thing more than once, and the order doesn't matter, so it didn't matter if he was wearing the red shirt and the blue shorts or the other way around, and we're only going to look at this with 2 choices at GCSE. If you do A-level, there could be multiple choices and we don't worry about the order. You multiply by 1 less, and then you divide by 2. So in the next video, I'm going to be doing some examples using these 3 kinds of questions and seeing if we can answer them. Found this video helpful? Then why not drop it a like and consider subscribing to my channel. If you'd like the next video in the playlist, you can click here to be taken straight to it. And as always, wishing you the very best for all your studies.